Greetings, my fellow gamers. It is I, Wraith King. And I have good news and I have terribly bad news for you. The good news is, Kalahan has recently been added to the Korean version, but there's some really bad news concerning Kalahan. Well, he's been slightly nerfed. I mean, the nerf isn't that bad. I mean, it's not as bad as the global version's nerfs. It's definitely not as bad as those, but it's a nerf nonetheless, and it makes him a little less useful as he is in the global version. So, okay, let me show you what it is. After every third basic attack, he deals 150% physical damage to 3 enemies. Now, here's the nerf. In addition, your attack power is boosted by 200% in guild dungeons. And he does not have a void shield. At all. No void shield whatsoever. And he's a fighter. I mean, he's still a decent hero. I tested him out in Adventure, and it's not bad. It's not a terrible thing. It still is pretty bad, though. He gets killed quite quickly, being a fighter. So, this is a terrible nerf. It's a horrible nerf. But, you know, the rest of his skills ain't that bad, I'll be honest with you. I mean, they still have been nerfed, but they're not terribly bad. Let me show you what his first active ability is. This now inflicts 600% physical damage to 1 enemy unit, and in addition, the critical hit will be applied, so it's a guaranteed critical. So yeah, this has also been nerfed, but it's not that bad, you know. It's not a huge, terrible nerf. I mean, he's still a decent hero, but he's definitely not something I'd grind for with these kind of effects and stats. It's just something I wouldn't really grind for. The guild dungeon thing isn't something I pay too much attention to. The heroes I have seem to work pretty well in there already. So a hero like this just seems useless to me. But be that as it may, I'm not dogging him. He's not a terrible hero. This is still a decent skill. Now, his second active ability has also been nerfed, but it's not a terrible nerf. It's still pretty decent. Let's take a look at it. What this now does is it inflicts 300% physical damage to 3 enemies. And in addition, it increases the damage the targeted enemies take by 100%. The penetration effect is also applied. Now, this isn't half bad. Now, this is actually decent. I would have lived with this nerf right here for this ability right here, is second active. This isn't a bad nerf right here. I mean, it's nerfed, but it's still not that bad. But be that as it may, the rest of his skills seem to suck so far. But let's have hope for his awakening skill. You know, I actually took a look at his awakening skill earlier because I was scared that it was going to be bad, to be honest with you guys. But you know what? It's actually not that bad. It's decent. Let me show you. What this does now is it inflicts 1000% physical damage to 2 enemies. Penetration effect is applied, and the critical rate is applied. So this actually isn't that bad, because first of all, it's pretty strong. It's very, very powerful. It's pretty much Seg using his awakening skill on 2 enemies with penetration. So it's a very, very powerful awakening skill as far as damage is concerned. But be that as it may, I mean, it's just 2 enemies, but, you know, you know what I'm saying? It's just, It's definitely not something I'd, I mean, it's good, but I just don't like it. You know what I'm saying? You know, maybe it's just because I'm so used to the original Kalahan that this awakening skill doesn't seem all that great to me. But, you know, it's not exactly his skills that bother me, it's the fact that he doesn't have a void shield. I mean, this game has been out for over 3 years now. You would think that with every new fighter that is released in this game that the developers would give them a void shield. I mean, this guy is meant for guild dungeons. You're going to need a void shield in guild dungeons. You are going to need a void shield when you go in there for your fighters, because they will get demolished without void shields. And they're not giving him a void shield? I mean, like a 5-hit void shield or something like that. I don't even like those void shields, but they're still pretty good. That would be useful for Kalahan, but they didn't give him one? I mean, this doesn't bother me too much. This doesn't bother me too much because every other character in this game is amazing, but the characters that will be on this character list. I guarantee you they're going to nerf the other character that's supposed to be on this hero sheet. They will nerf her. I forgot what her name is, but they will nerf her as well. I'm positive. But I don't understand why they nerf. He was good how he was. I mean, I can understand if they buffed him a little bit, but why? Just why this nerf? Alright, we'll take a look at his animations, I guess. There's nothing that has really changed, but I guess you guys can take a look. Yeah, so nothing really has changed with his animations besides his voice acting. That's the only thing that's really different here. But wow, what a nerf. You know, I would have been okay with this if he at least had a void shield. Really. I know I said that before, but it's just ridiculous. I just don't understand why they didn't give him one. I mean, he's a fighter, for goodness sake. With all these great and powerful heroes that have been released on the Korean version, you'd think that they'd give him a void shield. But no, it's like they're saying, hey, we know all of the global version players like Kalahan, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna nerf him. and you're not gonna like him here on the Korean version. And it's the same thing as said for the global version. Hey, we know you like all the Awakened characters from the Korean version, but you're not gonna like them here. No, because we're gonna nerf them. It's like they're saying that. I mean, I'm not trying to sound rude or anything. I'm just being comical. In all honesty, I'm just being comical. I'm not trying to attack anybody. I'm not being rude. I promise. I love your game. I really do. I'm a huge fan, but in all honesty, these nerfs are just not needed. None of these nerfs are needed. Whenever you guys add a hero, don't nerf them, please. Listen to your community. Just listen, please. Do not nerf your heroes. Don't. They're great how they are. If you're going to add a hero from the global version or the Korean version, just don't nerf them, please. I mean, every hero you guys have added that is new, they don't have anything wrong with them. There's nothing weird wrong with them. And now, I know what you're going to say. Oh, you're just complaining because he's new and he's different. No, 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 no. It has nothing to do with it. When you guys add new heroes, like straight up new characters, new look, new everything, there's nothing wrong with them. There's no, oh, they're good in a specific area. That's what people hate. What people don't like is they're good in this particular area. Like for Kalahan here, excuse me. He's good in guild dungeons, which is annoying. And for the global version, they added the Crusaders, and they were just good in like raids and in dungeons and things like that. And that's not exactly what people use the Crusaders for. They use them everywhere. They didn't use them just for daily dungeons or guild dungeons and raids. No, they used them everywhere. They were used universally. Even though, yes, they were good in specific places, don't get me wrong. Seg is really, really great in Castle Rush. And Shane, she is really, really good in raid. But the fact that they were universal is what made them good heroes. What I mean by universal is you could use them any way you want, everywhere, and you can still use their awakening skills the right way, and it won't seem like you're using a sucky character on your team if you bring them into adventure. And their passive buff only works if they're in guild dungeons. So is this a bad nerf? Yes, I have to admit, at first I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to work with this. I'm gonna see if this is going to be a good hero. And after I tried him out in Adventure, he just didn't do good at all. He didn't. I mean, the damage after every 3 hits is actually a decent addition to him, but he needs a Void Shield. He doesn't need, after every 3 hits, he does some damage. He doesn't need that. He needs a Void Shield. If you gave him the Void Shield, at least, and just took away the guild dungeon boost in attack, I would have been fine with him. I don't even care about the boost in attack in guild dungeon. Just give him a Void Shield, for goodness sake. He's Kalahan. Kalahan, a very, very popular global version hero, and you're taking him over here and then nerfing him. I mean, wow. Just all out wow. Like, I thought the Korean version was doing amazing, but this is the first thing they have done that I'm like, no. No, this isn't gonna work. People are gonna be angry about this, I can guarantee you. But regardless of that, I am really happy that they added Kalahan here. I'm really pleased to see him finally here on the Korean version. Nerfed or not, I really am glad to see Kalahan finally a part of the Korean version story. I really am excited to see how he fits in here, and I'm very, very pleased that he's here anyways, even if he is nerfed. But anyways, that's all the time I have, my fellow gamers. Remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Take it easy. Bye.